All right, here we are in another episode of Comics Conspiracy, where we do deep dives into all things Marvel, especially classic Marvel, although we can't avoid current Marvel. Nonetheless, we got a pretty interesting topic today to talk about. We want you guys to get involved in the discussion as well, get into the comments, let us know what you guys think. Since we've been talking about Spider-Man a lot lately, it is going to be another Spidey topic today, and that never seems to be going out of style. With us today, of course, we got Camera Chris. Okay,
that's me.
All righty. We're also got Human Ramp, who is feeling a little under the weather today.
Yep.
I apologize if I have to mute my mic suddenly, but yeah, it's for your ears and benefit.
Okay.
And you don't want to get us sick.
Nice.
And picking up the rear with the gear, artist extraordinaire, we got Duke drawing the most popular character of all time.
Carol? No, she's not the most popular of all time.
Not my Carol Danvers. Anyway, go on.
I'm just drawing her because the film is coming out, and it's a good time to market and sell while you can.
Absolutely. Anything going on with you guys before we do a dive into the topic?
Well, Jordan's trying to get us all sick over the internet by coughing into the microphone.
I heard you can get.
Where's your mask, Jordan?
All right, mask up, boys.
Yeah.
As long as it's Dr. Doom mask, I'll do it.
Nice.
I got my Dr. Doom mask.
That they used.
I got my Dr. Doom mask. I'm ready.
God, if I showed you how many masks I have around this joint, I got Darth Vader over there, I got Mandalorian over there, I've got Boba Fett over there, I've got Iron Man, War Machine, I got Luke Skywalker helmet. It's just crazy.
Luke Skywalker.
Why do you love Mickey Mouse so much?
Pilot helmet.
Oh, pilot helmet. I'm about to say that must look like Michael Myers' face. Anyway, go on. Okay, so anybody want to talk about anything before we get into the topic at hand?
Nothing specifically. Yeah, life is going pretty okay right now. So,
all right,
I'm happy and blessed, and that's all there is. Yeah.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I'm really happy for you as well, dude. All right, so, okay, let's get into it. First and only topic for today's episode.
Oh, wrong.
So, Spidey's arch nemesis. Spider-Man has no shortage of enemies. Some are his friends. Some are, you know what I mean, his worst kind of opposition. But who would take top rank in this? And I know most people, your knee jerk is going to be the Green Goblin, right? And there's a lot of reasons for it. But Spider-Man has a huge history, and it's really deep, and there's a lot of bad blood going on. Okay, so it's a surprisingly difficult question if you really sit back and start thinking about Spider-Man and all of his history. And I'm just talking from 20 years ago and back. That's still a huge body of work to consider. So,
yeah.
Does anybody want to tackle this one right out the gate?
Why don't we start with his first nemesis, his childhood bully, Flash Thompson.
Okay.
But
go nuts.
That's even before he gets his powers.
All right. Now, keep in mind, Flash Thompson, this is a nemesis, right? So this has got to be able to oppose Spider-Man on several levels, right? Okay, consistently. So remember, almost from the get-go, Flash is like a fangirl for Spider-Man, though.
He is, right. So we're talking. So I just want to make sure. Are we clear? So we're not talking who's like the biggest, like who helped mold him to become who he is, because being bullied is obviously one thing, but you're saying who's can go toe to toe with Spider-Man, who's his biggest nemesis?
Threat. And it doesn't even have to be physical.
All right.
Right.
Okay.
No, it
then-
doesn't.
So then let's go that way. So we'll take Flash off the board.
Perfect.
Because I think Flash would make love to half of who Peter Parker is, so we can't do that.
Yeah. All right.
I've got 4 candidates that perhaps
one.
we should.
Pick the one though.
I don't have my answer yet.
All right. Chris, what about you?
Okay. So, as usual, I have to talk it out because what I would say is his first big nemesis would be the Green Goblin, followed immediately by Dr. Octopus. But I think his biggest nemesis of all time, and it depends on which era you're going with, because then along came Venom and all the rest. But I would say I would lean towards the actual biggest nemesis being the Sinister Six as a conglomerate. But in my opinion, who beats that out, his biggest nemesis ever, was Eric Larson.
Oh.
Explain.
Yeah.
Explain for the people at home. Explain for the people at home that don't know the bar.
Dive in on that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The Eric Larson era of Spider-Man was some of the worst art for Spider-Man. Eric Larson did some other good art, but the Spider-Man era was not his best work.
I'll agree to that.
Well, when you got deadlines like the way Marvel does.
But let's try to stick within the realm of actual
the Marvel comics.
the 616. So let's try to stick within that.
So then I have to go back to the Green Goblin, because the Green Goblin is to Spider-Man like the Joker is to Batman. And even at the helm of, well, maybe not the helm, but at the core of the Sinister Six, you've still got the Green Goblin in there.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fair, but I don't know, because I think Doc Ock has him there. That not only has Doc Ock done things to Spider-Man, he's also married Aunt May.
Yeah.
Brutality.
Brutality, right? Like
Brutality.
Like there's so I'm not sold on Green Goblin, and I'm wrestling really hard with these 4. And but I almost want to take him off the table. Not Doc Ock, but I want to take Venom off the table for me, because as much as he was close to Spider-Man and he knows Parker and created this awesome story, Venom's never really given Spider-Man this crazy hard time like Goblin or Doc Ock did. It
got really personal with those two, like way too personal.
Yes, it did.
You know what I mean?
Yes, it did. Yeah. But for someone being consistently a thorn in Spider-Man's side, let's talk about J. Jonah Jameson. J. Jonah Jameson has been there since the beginning. More pictures of Spider-Man, and just every time he does something good, J. Jonah's gonna find the bad thing he did and exploit that. Now, in a fist fight, no chance. But has J. Jonah put a lot of pressure on Spider-Man and set him up for failure over decades of content? Absolutely. So those are my 3. I still don't know, but I wanted to put J. Jonah's name into the hat, into the ring.
Absolutely. Well done. Okay. There are so many. Like you're just looking at all of them, right? Collectively, like Craven.
I was
let's
just
think about
in my head, yeah.
Craven's last hunt Craven's last hunt that flows into Torment. Like, it's savagery, but you know what I mean? But I'm trying to think of somebody who has just absolutely rocked Spider-Man to his core, changed the fundamental nature of who this character is. Man, as cliche as it is, it's got to be Green Goblin, man. Spider-Man to this day is still compensating for Gwen Stacy.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
He is still compensating for that, man. And he will always will be.
Otto begged his aunt.
Yeah.
Otto married his aunt and then took over as Spider-Man. Literally killed Peter Parker.
I know, but I'm saying even through all of that, right? Even through all of that, here, let's put it this way. Who has the greatest chance for Spider-Man to kill with his bare hands?
Mm-hmm.
Who would push him? Who would push him? Which of these guys would push him over that mark?
Craven almost did, you know?
I know, but who would do it? Remember, Spider-Man was coming to kill the Green Goblin. The only reason why that shit didn't happen, sorry for people at home speaking French, the only reason why that didn't happen was because Goblin killed himself.
This is true.
So would Peter have killed him with his bare hands? It looked like it was going that way.
We'll never know.
But the thing is so who has shaken him to his core and changed the very fundamental nature of who he is? Out of all of them, I have to go with Green Goblin. I have to go with Green Goblin. My problem with Green Goblin, the hardest thing I have with Green Goblin as taking the number one spot is that he's so inconsistent. Right? Doc Ock is way more consistent in the comics than Green Goblin. Do you know what I mean? Like you see him more often.
In like his threat,
he's more constant. Yeah. He's more constant.
Because he was just more of an interesting character as well. And that's what I was going to say to Jordan's response is, yes, Doc Ock is the better, like storytelling wise, is the better enemy, which is why, as Paul's exempling, is why he was more consistent, why they kept going back to him. He's just the more interesting opponent. They went too much. And again, the back and forth between Marvel and DC, perhaps they were trying to feed off of either the notoriety or the success of the Joker character to Batman, but I feel like they went too far with the laughing clown as the scare tactic of the Green Goblin and relied too heavily on that. And whereas Doc Ock, they actually got into the psychology of him as a character. The fact that he would go so far as to going after Aunt May. And I had, before I knew what a graphic novel was, I had a graphic novel of when he married Aunt May from when I was in elementary school, back when you used to order the books through the Scholastic or whatever it was called back then. And I would go through and I would, I was of the age where I was like bored of the choose your own adventure things. And I was like, well, what do I want to, and I'm like, oh, they got a Spider-Man book. So I had that Spider-Man book up until it had no cover and whatever. I kept that thing forever because it was one of my first, well, it was my first graphic novel, but it was one of my first actual comic books that I bought. And I held on to that. I read it a bunch of times, but again, to the character, it was just so maniacal and sinister and vindictive, and beyond the I'm going to throw some bombs at you and I'm going to destroy some stuff and you're going to chase me around and whatever. There was more of the mechanics of the fighting aspect of good versus evil between Spider-Man and Green Goblin, whereas Doc Ock had more of the psychological component as well as the physical threat.
Okay.
Doc Ock was a living embodiment of a mom joke. He literally went after ask your mom.
Yeah.
Like seriously, he did it.
Yeah.
He did it first. Doc Ock did it first. He's just like, oh, Spidey, why don't you go ask Aunt May how I was last night? You know what I mean? Like, it was brutal. Brutal. Look at Jordan's going to die.
When we talk about
Told you,
Green
Gabby.
Goblin being his nemesis, do we also have to touch on the fact of Harry becoming the Goblin?
What was that?
When we talk about Green Goblin being Peter's nemesis or Spidey's nemesis, do we also have to talk about Harry?
Harry Osborn.
Yeah.
You know?
His best friend.
Like, when you take it to that level as well, you know?
Which is awesome. I mean, it's a natural progression of the story, and it just the pure hatred that Harry had for Spider-Man, and then
And Peter. And Peter.
and Peter once he figured it all out. Right? It was and there's Parker trying to balance. Well, no, maybe it wasn't Spider-Man, and then it's like, yeah, you've been Spider-Man the whole time. No wonder you've been defending him. It's
Mhm.
It's hard. Yeah, absolutely. Now would that be the same thing? Like going back, like is Green Goblin a mantle or is Norman Osborn the Green Goblin and that's that? You know what I mean?
And that's what my question is.
I think that only somebody who carries Osborn's psychosis could even be close to it. Otherwise, you just got another Jack O' Lantern or Hobgoblin
Hobgoblin.
in the mix.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even going back to Jay Jonah, funding the Spider Slayer program, and right, you want to talk about constants since day one has been Jay Jonah, in a thorn in his side.
For a Spider Slayer. Yeah. With the TV for a head.
And didn't Jay Jonah also? Yes, with the TV for the head. Yes. Oh, so ridiculous. But didn't he also create Scorpion?
Yeah, he did.
Right.
Mhm.
So
I love don't get me wrong. I love Scorpion simply as an aesthetic. Like I love Scorpion, but he's so janky
he
as
is
a
so
villain.
janky. But you know what? There's a charm to Scorpion when he shows up. It's like you never know he's gonna do anything, right? Or sorry, you always know Spider-Man's gonna beat him in three panels. But here he is on a shoot
To
acid
me-
on you.
To me, one of the greatest physical threats, and I think that even surpasses Venom, because Venom's up there for physical threats to Spider-Man, is the Lizard. Lizard's crazy powerful.
Lizard's also a good one with the psychosis.
You know what I mean?
Right? Doc
Yeah.
Connors and
Yep.
Peter Parker, like the fact that Parker is so smart and he goes to these colleges and his literal teachers are becoming supervillains to kill him.
Yep.
Like it's unique, it's funny, it's not funny, but you know what I mean? It's ironic. Like everything they do, everybody around him either dies or becomes a villain to try and kill him.
It's
almost
it's
all
like-
of his all
Go on,
all
go on.
of, almost all of his villains are scientists too, right?
Yeah.
They're all geniuses.
but it's also part of the reason why they're so surprised when Spider-Man decides to go full bore, because it's part of the reason why Spider-Man's always holding back, right?
So
These people are important to him. He cares about them, even though they're lost and damned. He doesn't want to hurt them. He wants to help them. So that's why Spider-Man's always playing with kid gloves with these guys, right? Because if he just went full out, it would be another 3-panel fight.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. I was I just read Superior Spider-Man and that's where Doc Ock takes over Parker's body and Scorpion shows up and Doc Ock is Spider-Man right now, right? So Spider-Man punches Scorpion. His jaw comes clean off. And that's the first time Doc Ock really knows how much power Spider-Man had and how he was holding back
Mhm.
after all these years. And it blew his mind. It just, going back to your point, he's always holding back. With rare exceptions, when he's punching Wolverine in the face, like he just kept getting harder and harder or going harder and harder. Obviously it's adamantium. He's not going to get through anything.
Oh, shit. Knock that flesh right off his skin, though, if he could.
So
let's eliminate someone.
all right, well, I'm keeping Green Goblin on the top. So
Yeah, I'm
until
feeling
somebody can prove otherwise, Green Goblin's at the top. Now, yeah, and it might be cliche-ish, and it might be a copy of Joker, and it might be all of that, but somebody who has fundamentally changed Spider-Man's, that it's him. It's him. And I'm going to be honest with you, other people have had the opportunity. Like Doc Ock messes with him, like we said, consistently and very personally, but it really hasn't changed who Peter Parker is. You know what I mean? In a lot of ways, it's kind of reinforced who he is. But with the Green Goblin, Peter Parker really started to change his ideas and his concepts and things like that. Even his approach of being Spider-Man.
So let me put it this way, because I like to bring everything to wrestling because it makes sense to me. Spider-Man's Hulk Hogan, and he's He's fighting Bob Backlund, right? Week to week, right? And
What's that, the
thorn in
Scorpion?
side. Yeah, Scorpion. Out comes Iron Sheik, right? Or no, not Iron Sheik. We're saving that. Out comes Iron Sheik. Okay. Complete opposite of Hogan. Everything. There's your Doc Ock. But then when Andre shows up, which is rare and less likely, that's when you know it's on, and then that's what you're equating Green Goblin to. Is that?
I'd
That
say
makes sense?
I'd say Andre is more like Venom.
That's fair.
Yeah, and I'd say, I'll be honest with you, I think Green Goblin's more like Ultimate Warrior, because I think that changed Hulk Hogan. Big time.
Very, very good. No one's mentioned Kingpin, so I just wanted to say his name because I like the Kingpin.
Yeah, but I find Kingpin was not directly a Spider-Man villain. He was in the Manhattan region, so yes, Spider-Man battled him plenty of times. But I think they focused him more as a nemesis for Daredevil.
I agree. I agree. I just wanted to give somebody an opportunity to say Kingpin just in case. I just read a panel of Spider-Man and Daredevil sitting on a rooftop, and Parker's talking about Kingpin and how big of a threat he is, and he's like, Daredevil's like says, you have all these hero or villains to fight against. Just give me Kingpin, please. Let me have this one. That's my nemesis.
Mhm.
All right, well, we got to start wrapping this up. So let's start, because the Hound is starting to get fidgety. So let's start talking about it then. Really, Chris.
Okay,
do you think it's Green Goblin?
but break it down. How do you qualify who is his greatest archenemy? Because is it someone that presented an actual existential threat to Spider-Man, or is
Yes.
it someone that was just there constantly causing
No.
problems, constantly getting at him? Like, arch enemy could mean the longevity of their feud or the severity of it.
I think the person, I'm going to be honest with you, the person who has the most impact when they're in the episode, like when they're in the issue. So when this character shows up, our jaws dropping, right? Is it going to be doing that?
So then, sadly for me, I got to switch gears then, and I got to say it's Venom.
All right.
Oh wow.
No, Venom was always on my radar. I'm not going to say
Yeah.
what he wasn't.
Yeah, that's fair.
But because when Venom came along, it was the extension of the black suit that became part of Spider-Man, had absorbed some of Peter Parker's essence and thoughts and memories and all that kind of stuff, and used that as a gain advantage, as a weapon against Spider-Man consistently, to the point where he didn't trigger one of his core defense mechanisms. Well, his core defense mechanism, which is his spider sense. And Jordan was saying before, like, when it's the character, when he shows up, it's something spooky or whatever. How many times did they have, in that initial phase of Venom, before they tried to make Venom the good guy because it was such a popular character, but while he was still scary Venom in the initial run, they had him show up and he could just pop out of an alleyway because Spider-Man couldn't sense him, couldn't even feel his presence in any respect. And then he's just on top of him, and he's bigger and he's more powerful, and he's got endless amount of webs because they're not actually webs. All that stuff. He presented a physical and psychological danger and threat. So, that I don't know. Yeah, I think I've got to say Venom.
We got one vote for Venom. Dave, you're Spider-Man all the way. So what are you saying?
Yeah, I'm going with Goblin. Sorry, I got
Goblin.
Yeah,
Goblin.
I mean,
And
Goblin
I mean,
is not mine.
but hold on, but getting the hero to kill his own girlfriend? Come on now. It's a badass move.
Yep, he did one thing. He did
a whole lot more than that.
Absolutely.
He beat him. He beat his ass. He whooped him. He unmasked him. He had him completely at his mercy.
You're
he did
right.
all that shit,
But
and he didn't.
bang his mama.
But
He didn't bang his mama. He didn't kill him. He didn't switch bodies with him. He didn't take over as Spider-Man. I'm sorry, but it's like Doc Ock has had Parker's number. He's smarter. He's more efficient.
okay, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay, let's put all. No, don't put it aside. Let's put it like right prominent. But my question is with all of that baggage, every single ounce of it, Peter Parker still wants to help Doc Ock. Peter Parker wants to wring Norman Osborn's neck.
He
There's a
wants to wring
difference.
the Goblin's neck. He wants to help Norman. That's the essence of Spider. Spider-Man,
but
right? He wants to cure Norman.
but it's the hate the sinner, favor the sin, or no, hate the sin, favor the sinner. That's
Right.
the Spider-Man mentality, right? Like he wants to be able to see that separation.
And he doesn't come close to not separating that with anybody else but Green Goblin. Even though, look at all the baggage Doc Ock has on him. And he's still, I'm going to help you out, Doc. But when it comes to Goblin, come here. Come here, bitch. Your time's up. Every time.
I mean, you present a good argument, but like, I still think Doc Ock is that parallel. Like Doc Ock and Spider-Man are almost the same character, but they took different paths.
Okay.
Right? They're that Abomination Hulk type villain and hero.
Interesting.
Right? If Doc Ock had a good heart and everything, then he would be a formidable ally. He would, you almost wouldn't even need a Spider-Man because Doc Ock could clean up the streets.
I'm being a douche devil's advocate on this one though. Jordan.
Do it. I like that.
When we did this with Hulk, Abomination didn't make the cut.
You are correct. Because Abomination wasn't as personal as Doc Ock. He still bagged his mom.
All right. So we got 2 for Green Goblin, 1 for Venom, and 1 for Doc Ock.
Yeah. Let's see. I want to see it in the comments below.
We do need to see it. People, we need to absolutely see this in the comments. Tell us we're all wrong. Tell us who actually is Spider-Man's arch nemesis. Put yourself out there.
Because he convinced them to take off the mask and got Aunt May killed and then did the deal with the devil. It's Tony Stark.
Mary Jane Watson. All right.
I mean, Jay Jonah's still. Oh my goodness.
Okay, come on.
Jay
Puberty just struck.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Jay Jonah was on my list as well, Jordan. He was on my list when I was thinking about it.
Yeah,
so.
man. I mean, that's just a testament to the care that Marvel has taken with Spider-Man. He's got a lot of crap in his rogue gallery, but it's not even crap. It's just a lot of different characters in his stories, and it seems like they're all treated with love and care, and that's how you have this property that is still going after 70 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, this was interesting. I knew this one was going to go all over the place.
Yeah,
and I bet you if we had another 3 hours, we'd probably use every minute of it. So
he still could. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every time we say absolutely.
Venom almost won for me. He was so close. He was so close too. I was really thinking Venom for a while.
I really like Venom as well but the thing that took him off for me is his longevity in Parker's history. He fell off, right? He gave such a big impact when he arrived, but I think they messed it up when they put him as an anti-hero, which I guess
that's what it was, right? That's what changed it for me because I was like, yeah, but at this point he's helped Spider-Man.
Yeah,
like he helps him. Like you know what I mean? And
yeah,
so it's a gray area, and an arch nemesis shouldn't have a gray area. I didn't think so, but like when Chris said, like when he first came out though, oh man, was he the bomb? He was everything. He was like the anti-Spider-Man.
That's
That's
it.
all he was. He was the anti-Spider-Man.
I
So,
agree.
good.
I don't know about that statement though about an arch nemesis shouldn't help, and the reason why I'm saying that is if I just take a simple example of Doctor Doom and Reed Richards.
Yep.
Doom would help Richards, but there is a reason. It's just to prove that he's better.
No. But it's about motive.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Does Doctor Doom hate Reed Richards? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
All right. Does Venom hate Peter Parker anymore?
No.
Maybe not so much.
Yeah.
Doesn't hate him anymore.
Yep. There we go. That makes the difference right there.
And did Venom even really ever hate Peter Parker? He just wanted to be with him.
Yeah.
Just loved him.
Well, he was the broken-hearted girlfriend, right?
Yeah. Come
So-
back. I love you.
Jesus.
Alrighty. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, we could talk about it forever. So as of right now, for the panel of experts here, it looks like Green Goblin wins.
2-1-1.
Yep, 2-1-1. So which isn't a bad thing. I don't think any of us are going to say that Green Goblin doesn't deserve to be up in the rankings.
It's all the time. Like it's those four in my head all the time. And you know what? I could wake up tomorrow and disagree with what I said today and be like, you know what? Maybe it is Venom, because I forgot about this, or maybe it is Green Goblin because of this, like that's what makes Spider-Man so popular.
All right. So before we get going, is there anything you guys want to say? We're going to start with you, Jordan. Got anything you want to plug? Anything you want to say?
Nothing I want to plug. Take your vitamins, get lots of rest, because when you're sick like this, it's not fun trying to be presentable on a microphone or video. It's taking a lot out of me. I'm going to bed after this.
Nice.
Can't take you anywhere, man. All right.
Nor
All
would
right,
you
Chris.
want to.
Right? Gotta have standards. Chris, you got anything you want to say? Anything you want to plug?
No, I'm good. I mean, my usual. My company is Timecode Productions. We do photo, video, film, 3D modeling, and animation in the Southern Ontario, Greater Toronto, whatever you want to call it, area. If you need photos, if you need video, we're your people to make that happen, produce it, shoot it, edit it, make it look good. We just don't do porn.
Fair. We just
Fair
talked
enough.
about standards. All right. Okay. Dave, let's talk about it. Come on, plug some stuff.
All right, we're not going to plug some stuff, but we're going to get into this. You know what? I sit here and I draw every week. I want you guys in the comments to tell me who you want me to draw next week. And the one that has the most likes, thumbs up, or mentioned the most is who I'll draw next time.
Damn.
Ooh, I love it.
Damn.
How?
That could come back and bite you in the ass, but all right.
Yeah, it could. It definitely could.
All right. Guys in the comments, put him over the coals. All right. So, yeah, you guys can get in touch with me on X at Grounds of Battle. My email's battlegrounds@hotmail.com, battle-grounds@hotmail.com. And of course, you guys can always just leave comments and you can get to us through them. By all means, let us know what you think. Let us know what we got right, and let us know what we got wrong. Until next time, there's been another episode of Comics Conspiracy.
Peace out.
Amazing.
Look at this magic. All right.